And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Market Recap. For Thursday, June the 2nd, I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Hopefully you had a good trading day today. We had a couple of really interesting opportunities. We're going to check those on the charts very soon. As always, again, thanks for trusting me with your time. As far as news is concerned, OPEC has agreed to increase production by approximately 648,000 barrels per day in July and August, although they have been yet to be able to return to the 10 million barrels per day it agreed to. The EIA announced a 5 million barrel draw in inventories here in the U.S. Some pretty good reaction off the lows here in crude oil today. The Fed Vice Chair Lionel Brainerd says it's very hard to see the case for pausing interest rates. And stocks have ignored warnings of doom or hurricanes and resolved pretty considerably higher today. The E-mini S&P up 1.9%. The NASDAQ, the winner today, up 2.75%. And the Dow futures up 1.3%, up about 420 points today alone. Taking a look at what happened in these markets, OPEC does nothing to ease supply concerns here in the U.S. Even the S&P's, the bull flag breakout continues to push higher, almost reaching its measured move, whereas the NASDAQ actually completed that target today. Gold, the daily chart, I'm calling it the Rick H trend line, brings a drive to the upper extreme of balance. The euro, a weak dollar, keeps the euro in range after a weak start this morning. And the 10-year prices are just kind of digesting their new price level. Excuse me. Got a little thing here. Sorry about that. A little water. And the natural gas. Increase in storage at the 11 o'clock number today helps buyers kind of cool their jets. We're going to see that in the charts shortly. Tomorrow is Friday. It's a short week this week. Doesn't seem like it was any longer than usual. Excuse me. My goodness. Hang on one second. Got myself a little tickle here. Hang on. Again, my apologies. Tomorrow morning we have unemployment. The unemployment numbers is going to be a big one. A lot of traders are already asking me, well, what do we do after a day like today with unemployment tomorrow? I know I'll be watching very closely, especially in our equities, as to how much open interest changed. Did we bring in real buyers today? Or did we just scare out shorts? I'm going to find that out tomorrow morning on the market forecast when we take a look at the open interest. Excuse me. My goodness. Tachyon, good afternoon. Up 44 for the combine. Slow, exhausting day. It's okay. Positive is good. Glitter Sandwich, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. Exited early on the long in the ES, made 300, left a lot on the table. Well, if that was your plan, for that trade, nothing left. Anything that happens after that is a new opportunity. What's worse, leaving money on the table or a losing trade? I would go with the losing trade. Jumped in too early this morning, got cut to pieces. If you were in Make Hogue Money today, the opening range was left at the high of the session. We had some pretty high hopes for some continuation to the downside off of that. We didn't get what we were looking for. The market traded down to yesterday's low, could not push down through that. We left some money on the table by not taking a profit at that time. I think when the real opportunity came is when we broke out of the bear flag. When we started accepting above that, I think that's when our indication of potential movement throughout the day became a little bit more apparent. We're going to see that in the charts. Right. Spence is going to finish the week green as long as I don't do anything ill-advised tomorrow. But this morning was kind of tough. We had almost a 20-point profit in that short here in the open off the opening range trade today. We voted, we decided to keep fishing, and that cost us a little bit, but that's the game. The trade is valid until proven invalid. Good afternoon, Vince. Scott saw everyone, stayed out of the first 30 minutes this morning, ended up with a decent day. Nice job. So you conquered today, Scott. You saw and you conquered. Got trigger happy this afternoon, I think because I was close to my profit target. Need to ignore that and be more patient. 100%, Spence. Start getting near a profit target that becomes our focus and it takes us off of our strategy, and that's never a good thing. James, hello. How are you? Hope you're watching the festivities there over in London. 10% rule for your profit targets. Good day today. Passed step 1 in the morning, plus made some decent gains in the personal account in the PM. Nice job, Jacob. Nice job, Jacob Schmidt. Thanks for popping in and letting us know how your day went. Bill Phillips, good afternoon. Casey Olson, what up? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Made 300 profit and ran for the rest of the day. That's all right. Profit is good. Had the whale on the hook and cut the line. Vince, it's all right. You got the whale on the hook. Now let's fish it. Are you sure that's not Russian water? Oh, my goodness. I don't think so. Yes, take a Ricola. There you go. That's, ow. Ow. Lacey poking at my feet here. I hope you had a good day, too, as well, Dan. Joe went on Sim today to get confidence back. I know only Sim, but had a confidence builder. That's good. That's good. Nettie got stopped out too many times today. That does happen, but as long as you're still available to operate tomorrow, you're in good shape. Off 500 from passing step 1. Never been so scared. James, don't be scared. Just remember, tomorrow morning you start from 0. Don't focus on the target. Focus on staying in your strategy. Vodka in that glass. Sometimes that could be. That could be. One of these days we're going to have an office party on a Thursday when I do the recap, and we're just going to hang out and talk music and have a cocktail together. I think that sounds like a fun idea. Let me know if you guys want to do that one of these days. Let's jump into the charts and take a look and see what happened. Fascinating markets, as always today. Let's take a quick look. So this is the daily in crude. Okay. So we had a pretty deep move to the downside in the overnight last night. Let's take a look at the 30. We know what's happened. Let's look at how it happened. So pretty deep move to the downside. We had some overnight inventory that was really adjusting before the open. Once the market opened, we really adjusted that inventory back to settlement, and then we waited for information. We knew that OPEC was speaking. I think one of the reasons we really resolved to the upside today, at the end of the day and up until the close, was the fact that we had a 5 million barrel draw in inventories. So here we are, just kind of centering each day around this 1640 weekly kickoff level. Let's see what happens tomorrow. This does appear to be somewhat of a short covering profile today. Somewhat, I'm saying. You have to watch the open interest tomorrow morning. Now, the market I'm really going to be watching the open interest in is the S&Ps and the NASDAQ. Here's what we were looking at. We had a bull flag, I should say here. We'd had a couple of attempts to get above that level that were initially thwarted, if you will. Here's yesterday's attempt, and we kind of got pushed back. Today, before the open, we were above that line. We got pushed back. Our opening range was the low of the session. We were looking for a bigger move to the downside, perhaps even to come check out this naked point of control or even points lower on the lower part of this bull flag. It didn't happen. Once we found acceptance back above this line in regular trading hours, we looked above it day before yesterday. In overnight session, we rejected it in regular trading hour session. Last night we looked above it and rejected it in overnight session. Today, when we moved above it in regular trading hours, we found acceptance and we had a nice push to the upside, including what's going to end up being a late spike for us tomorrow morning, stopping just short of our target on this breakout, which would be Sunday night's high, which is a recent high that occurred in overnight session. Markets don't like to leave that. So we're going to watch and see if we have a whole bunch of open interest added into this move today. Let's take a quick look at volume, seeing that it's maybe 1% less than it was at this time yesterday. So didn't bring in huge volume to the upside. Did we bring in open interest is really going to be the question. Now, the NASDAQ had a little bit better day than the S&Ps, but the NASDAQ has more to go. Same situation, testing above it in the extended trading hours, rejecting in regular trading hours, testing above it in extended trading hours, breaking out above that line in regular trading hours, brought in enough buyers for us to take out the Sunday night high, which is in the extended trading hours overnight session, putting in a new recent high in overnight session. Does not like to be left that way. We are usually at some point in the near future going to test back to that level in regular trading hours, and we achieved that in the NASDAQ today. Again, I'll be watching open interest tomorrow morning to see if we brought real buyers into this move to the upside or fake buyers. I don't even know what fake buyers are. If this ended up being a short covering rally, that's going to take buying power away from the marketplace. If this is new longs, those new longs may be around for a little while. Again, we've got plenty of naysayers out there saying that this market is in trouble, that our low is far from being reached, which we may or may not agree with. I'm trading what I see and what the market offered us again today above this trend line here. And when you look at the S&Ps, we put another trend line down here. I'm calling this the Vince trend line. From here to here, we broke out above the original trend line. We stopped here. We found acceptance and continuation above this trend line. Now we've got the late spike. We're still aiming to take out this Sunday night recent all-time high in the overnight session. Take a look at gold. So now I'm calling this the Rick H trend line. This is the trend line that my brother suggested I put on there this morning, and we did break out. We had a pretty decent breakout above this that took us right up to the upper extreme of the area of balance that we've been in since before rollover started. Well, we're done with rollover, but I'm still focused on these extremes for my opportunities. Take a look. So we opened with a gap. We never closed the gap. When we don't close the gap relatively early, we'll look for opportunities in the direction of the gap. I'm still kind of feeling like this is a market that I'm kind of back burnering, but now we're up close to an important inflection level, like last week's high. We took out 2 naked points of control on the way up here. There's still more. There's still more naked points of control for us to go check to. But again, this is the upper extreme of the area of balance we've been in. If we remain inside of that tomorrow, this will be a good area to fish. Look at the information. We've got last week's high. We've got the high from the range from today. We've got the high of value from today. All tightly packed here. There might be a couple of lunkers for us up here. Have to wait till tomorrow to find out. It's the euro, weak dollar, but really just kind of keeping us from breaking out any further below the area of balance we've been in. We know we're coming into rollover in the currencies. We're looking at just a couple of sessions till switch day. The market is going to have more of a tendency to remain range bound. Saying that this market was kind of on the back burner maybe was a little bit of a mistake for me this morning. We opened above value. We tested to value high from yesterday. Remember, we're looking at these days in range to be days that we're going to be respecting short time frame levels. You can't get a more short time frame level than the previous day's high of value or low of value or a low of the session or high of the session. Traded right to value high from yesterday, or relatively close to it anyway, after the open, and we continued to grind this market higher all day. We're coming into rollover. I'm not expecting to be able to read much from open interest in this market tomorrow. And take one more look. Still range bound, still short time frame controlled. Alrighty. So here's the 10-year. As we mentioned today, we were opening in range and value. It may just be one of those days where we digest the fact that we're trading at levels that we haven't seen in a little while. We had a breakout to the downside from our weekly kickoff low. We know rates are eventually going higher. It's just a matter of timing and where. So we digested here. This looks almost like it did this morning. An inside day after a breakout, the market taking a little bit of a rest, cutting off volume. That's a little bit concerning. And we probably didn't change much as far as open interest is concerned on today either. So yeah, this is extremely close to what it looked like this morning, even before we opened. Did we even have to do this today? And for the nat gas, a boost in inventory. We're still holding an upside structure to the upside. Added 7,200 in open interest yesterday. Higher volume coming off that, but an overlapping to higher extended trading hour range. Even though it's to the downside, looks like value is higher, and it is not. We opened at the highs. We closed the gap close, acceptance inside the inside value very quickly put us through value low. So we opened outside of range and value. Value area special situation play is a possibility, but it wasn't until after the 9 o'clock release of the increase in inventory, that we basically finished and usurped the value area special situation play. Looking at this as a kind of a situation where the market may have gotten too long. If we lose open interest on this push to the downside, a little higher volume, but we have to see what it looks like tomorrow. I get this feeling that we lost open interest, and I've been wrong before. And I'll be wrong again. Okay. So tomorrow is Friday. Capital Preservation Friday, as always. We're going to make sure we're taking care to manage risk well tomorrow. If you've had a good day, if you've had a good week, don't want to wreck that at the end of the week. Usually I'm going to be looking for opportunities early to make a little bit of money and call it a weekend early. I suggest maybe you do the same thing. Dan, suspecting that it was an empty rally today. I don't like chasing bear market rallies either. But I think, Dan, what we're looking for tomorrow is if we have a large increase in open interest in the S&Ps, that's going to be a little bit of a change in personality, kind of like we saw off the lows last week. We started to see increases in open interest on up days. A little bit more to those. Jan, hello, Anissa. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Aaron, it's my pleasure. I'm glad that I've helped you if I have. Yeah, tomorrow morning should be very interesting. So, Jan, this is the TS Trader platform. It's the 30-minute chart. I think there's a way that you can have the volume profiles populate automatically. I prefer just to do them myself. So what I do, here's the session from today. I go over here and I hit drawing tools. Then I left click volume profile and I let it go. Don't hold it. Bring your cursor over to where you want the volume profile to begin. Here it's 8:30 Central Time. I'm going to click and let it go. And then just drag my cursor over to where I want it to end, which is at 3 o'clock. If I'm not done with the profile yet, I can just extend it to the end, and it'll bring the volume profile over here. Because the market for all intents and purposes is closed, I cut off the volume profile at the ending time. Yeah, Stan, it's a good idea. If you're in step 1, you're fine. If you're in step 2 or a funded account, you're going to want to be flat before the unemployment number comes out tomorrow at 7:30. I won't be holding any positions at 7:30. I've taken enough positions into important numbers. And see all this gray hair? What isn't from my kids is from holding positions into numbers. And if I add up the total of the good days and bad days I've had doing that, it's about even, so I don't play anymore. I don't play that. All right. It's kind of funny. Today is June 2nd. Today's the day Babe Ruth retired, 1935. It's also, from what I saw here a little while ago, the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. It was today in 1953. So that's they're celebrating her 70th year as queen today and tomorrow and over the weekend. This is also the date in 1865 that the Civil War ended. Always a good thing. 1989, Dead Poet Society is released in selected theaters. It's a great movie. In music, forgot to say, I didn't do history 2 days ago. Tuesday was John Bonham's birthday. John Bonham, drummer from Led Zeppelin. Today's Charlie Watts' birthday. He was born in 1941. Charlie Watts, the drummer for the little band called the Rolling Stones. 1966, Frank Sinatra was number 1 on the UK singles chart with Strangers in the Night. Saw a couple other cool things here. Today in 1978, Thin Lizzy released a live double album. Thin Lizzy, you know the song. Jailbreak and Dancing in the Moonlight. Donna Summer in 1978 started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Hot Stuff. I can forget about that. I wasn't a big fan of disco. In 2003, a painting of Kylie Minogue wearing gold hot pants caused tempers to fray among drivers in Brighton. Artist Simon Etheridge put up the almost life-size picture in his own art asylum gallery as part of the festival, and since then, motorists had caused regular traffic holdups as they stopped to take a second look. Funny. Bonzo. That's right. There's my guy. All right. I'm going to call this a day. Thursday. Don't forget NFP, unemployment, unenjoyment, whatever you want to call it tomorrow morning. I'll be with you tomorrow morning at 7:45, just after the release. We'll find out what the markets are looking like, what we found as far as participants in the S&Ps and the NASDAQ today. Maybe give us a story, a look at what to expect for tomorrow. So, Bay City Rollers. They were from Scotland. If it's not Scottish, it's cop. Good band, though. What kind of one-hit wonder, but Saturday night. Be good to yourselves. Be kind to others. Say a prayer for world peace. Say a prayer for those who are suffering today. Blessings to you all. I'll see you tomorrow morning. It's going to be a good Friday. Have a great, great evening. Take care.